Juwan, Isaiah told us that you said in the locker room before the game that this game would be a tone setter. Do you think that they responded well coming out of the gate and overall throughout the day?
Yes, I think our team played a really good job of being ready for a really tough opponent. Yes, it's been stated that it's a rivalry game. Our guys understood how important this game meant to not only to the team, but to all the Michigan fans. I love the fact that our disposition, we were ready from start to finish, and how we got it done with our defense.
Justin?
Just the intensity Isaiah brought to your group. A lot of the guys talked about what a shot in the arm that was. Plus, they also wanted to prove it, like you just said. I mean, when they roll out there the first 5-6 minutes, shots aren't falling either side, but that intensity to maintain. How proud of their effort in that perspective?
Well, it's good that Isaiah was happy. Was happy today. He felt good, so we wanted to give him a go because we just felt that he told us health-wise. Alex told us that he was good to go today. I was proud of the fact that how he came out and competed. There were some possessions out there where it was tough for us to score. Zay came up big, made some clutch shots. Defensively, he was very active on the defensive end with his length, protecting the basket. It was good that there was opportunities that we had where we switched ball screens and he was able to keep a man in front of him. Zay is a talent. It's that simple. We missed him a lot, man. We missed having another guy like Zay who can not only make shots, but also a guy that has a high basketball IQ that knows how to make plays.
On your right, Chris?
A couple things, Coach, over here. Your transition defense was a lot better than the first time. Just talk about the emphasis on that.
Yes. It was very disappointing how our transition defense failed us last time we played Michigan State. As I recall, we gave up 21 points in transition because we were not good at communicating. There were times when we had two guys to the ball and left some of their shooters open. There were times when we were jogging back and they were able to throw it ahead for layups. There was a big emphasis on me as well as my staff on taking away some of the transition buckets because Michigan State do a really good job of not only on makes but also on misses of getting the ball ahead, pitch ahead, layups or threes. So in the first half they had 4 transition points, and then in the second half they had 2. So that was a big key for us, big point of emphasis on getting back and eliminating their transition points.
And then can you talk about Eli's job on Cassius and the job that you guys
He
did?
Yes, sir. He did a very, very good job defensively on Cassius. I knew last game Cassius was very comfortable. We saw the amount of points that he scored last game. I went back and watched film of our last game and played them. I just wanted to give them a different look. I knew Eli, by the way, of how defensively he's a very disciplined player, very technical, not going to make many mistakes. I thought he did a really good job of staying in front of catches, making every catch tough for him, as well as every shot, challenging every shot without fouling. There was one possession where we did foul him on the three-point line, and he got 3 free throws. That's unacceptable, but I like the fact of how we responded from there.
In the back television row with Jonathan.
Juwan, what does this win mean for you personally to make your first mark on the rivalry?
It's never about me. It's all about this team. I'm just so proud about the fact that our guys responded and got a victory. They did it. The players did it. They came out and played the game. They played hard. They played great defensively. They respected the game plan. They trusted the game plan. They didn't make too many mental mistakes. They were totally locked in from start to finish.
Stay there with Jonathan.
How much did you feel like the early three-point shooting, especially from Xavier, made a difference in the game?
That helped big time. Because like I stated earlier, there was nothing I was doing. It was all about the players. Xavier made some tough shots, but he was open. And those are shots that he's practiced. Those are shots that he come in on off days and shoot. And it's good to see that during the game he was confident. I want him, as well as his other teammates, when they're open, to don't be afraid to take an open shot. If they miss a shot, my philosophy is if you get another open one, take the next one.
Right in front with Noah.
For some, that may be uncomfortable because it's like, okay, wow, you're shooting too many quick shots. For me, I enjoy it. I love it.
dunk by Teskey in the second half seemed to give everybody a bit of a lift. How important was, the job he did in the second half?
Well, he did a great job of running in transition, sprinting hard, and he saw an opening, and I think if I recall, Eli threw the lob, and during one time on target, he caught it with one hand. I really enjoyed seeing our players not only catch the ball with two hands on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end, get two-handed rebounds. So when he caught it with one hand, I was nervous because I said, wow, is he going to go in? And the ball creeped in there. And it was good that when he made it, there was emotion after that play. And yes, it inspired the group and inspired the crowd because it was good to see John. Everyone look at him as a very quiet, player when he's out there on the floor. He doesn't show much emotion, but he is a guy who's, really in tune into the game. He's very active. His voice is heard in timeouts, and he's also emotional as well.
Right over here with Graham.
Juwan, what sort of challenges does Aaron Henry present when they switch to him coming downhill with the ball like they did in the second half and take the ball out of Cash's hands a little bit?
Well, Aaron, he's a talent, but it's good to see that, you have guys other than Cassius making plays. Cassius, his usage rate with the ball in his hands is really good, and when he has the ball in his hands, something good always happens. But every shot today, whether it was from Cassius or for any of his teammates, was contested. And we always wanted to get a handball contest.
Andrew?
Juwan, it was an interesting week for X, but it didn't seem like any off-court stuff bothered him out there on the court today. I guess, how would you assess, his state leading up to the game and then how he played out there?
X is a gamer. X understands, what's asked of him. He understands his responsibility as a leader of the team, a senior, and also a captain. And it was no surprise to me that he'll be ready to play at a high level.
And then it seemed like you guys got more than your share of the 50-50 balls, guys diving on the floor. Was that, did the ball just bounce your way, or was that kind of an emphasis in this game?
It was definitely a point of emphasis. Loose balls, all the muscle areas. Loose balls, rebounding. They still got too many offensive rebounds, 11. Wasn't happy with that. Blocking out, that offensive rebound, at the free throw line, I was not happy with that. But, every play I know is not going to always be perfect, but I love the fact that how we were able to respond after making those kind of mistakes.
Juwan, with Isaiah's shooting ability and opposing teams having to account for him from deep, just how much does that open things up for you guys offensively as a whole?
Well, at the beginning of the season, we saw it where we get off to a really good start, and a big reason for that was because of Isaiah. If we recall, Isaiah was shooting 50% from the three, he's averaging 14 points, and also a guy that just knows how to play the game of basketball. Know how to make the right play. And another guy on the defensive end from our opponents had to honor. So it was good to see that he came back today and healthier than what he's been like in the past. And with this presence, it was truly inspiring just to see how his teammates rallied behind him.
On the right with Zach.
Juwan, what's been the key this defense has done pretty well the last 4 games? What's been the key in your eyes? And then, if I can single one player out, what does Franz's defensive progress look like lately?
Well, it's been the energy and effort. It has been a big key for us. And I'm going to leave it just like that. That's been a great adjustment for our group. And then you guys can take it from there.
Connor?
And then Franz, it's been huge. It's been huge. There was a possession where we were struggling to score. Franz backed down, got to the middle of the floor, and then got an and one. And then there was another play where Franz drove to the basket, made a tough finish as he was going away from the basket, which was a big basket for us as well. But Franz he's a player, he's a talent, and he's a confident player. And Franz, know I trust him. And I also know that he's going to make some good plays for us when we need him.
Juwan, you guys wore black socks today. Isaiah said that was for you. So what did you make of that?
This is the second time when they surprised me with black socks, because I did not see our guys wearing black socks today. And yes, they had on, I saw the Mays jersey, but I didn't see the black socks. When we were in the Bahamas and we played against North Carolina, our players wore black socks, and I didn't see it. They told me after the game that they won the game for me, and they wore the black socks for me. So now, wow, that's special, man. It's just a fun group, man. I'm so lucky to have a high character guys that are all about giving to not just themselves, but giving to the team. It says a lot about the group and how unselfish they are.
Brendan?
You mentioned the guys kind of understood the game plan, respected the game plan, I think it was the word you used there. And I just wonder, over the course of this year, what's the process been like for you in terms of, understand how to install the game plans that works for these guys, and you're working with much younger players than you have for a few years, and what's that kind of played out, or how's that played out?
Actually, it's been fun. Some would say, well, you're probably BSing me right now by saying it's fun. No, it has. It has allowed me to grow as a coach. Game plans definitely changes by your opponent. And when you see your opponent one time, then of course there's some adjustments you have to make to see what gives your team a best chance to win. I have an amazing staff. I don't do it just by myself. The coaching staff, for example, they all have different teams that they work on as a scout, and I empower the staff, whoever is the scout for that game. They also act as a head coach because they've seen enough of the opponent, meaning Michigan State, and they watch many games. We sit down and we talk about the game plan. There are moments when we have to come together and come and make a final decision as a group and be comfortable with that decision. There are times when we may have some conversations, but that's part of the process of, as a coach, at the end of the day, I have to make the final decision that I feel that I trust, and when we make the decision, we make it as a team, as a group.
Who had the scout today?
Saudi Washington.
Take a couple more down here, and then we'll close with Chris.
Juwan, the parity level in this conference is kind of at an uncanny situation here where anybody can win any night and crazy things happen. Can you speak to the parity in the Big Ten right now? And if you guys happen to get a Big Ten bid for NCAA bid for the tournament, how that will help you guys down the line?
Well, I'll first start with this. I'm not looking ahead. I look at it game by game. So I'm going to enjoy this victory right now, and then tomorrow I will start focusing on Northwestern. But this is a very competitive conference, and if you look at it, home teams has been good throughout the season thus far in the Big Ten. When you play a road game, it's always a dogfight. But regardless, game by game in the Big Ten, it's super competitive, a lot of good teams. At one point, we saw it where we were one of the better teams, and we had a good record. Ohio State was up there as well, and then a month later, you see where the two of us are down there at the bottom. But we can only control what we can control, and that's us. So we will continue to keep playing and keep growing, and hopefully we will have some good health on our side.
Chris, you want to close the call?
John was 0-0 in the first half, had a much better second half. A lot of people are quick to jump on him, say it's an effort thing with him. How do you see it in the dichotomy between the two?
Well, it's never effort with John, because John brings the effort. He brings the effort for 40 minutes. Well, he didn't play 40 minutes, but every minute, all the minutes that he's out there, he's given energy and effort. And we need John. John knows it. It's not about John Teskey, it's about the team. Every minute that he's given us out there, the production he's given us as a staff, and also as a head coach, I've been pleased with John.
Thank you very much, Coach.